This video is under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. CCNTV, bringing you captivating news since 2019.
Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and along with me and Brother Nate and the rest of you beautiful people, we'll be discussing, as we always do, Tuesday stuff, news, politics, and a whole bunch of other mess. So without further ado, let's give you all a hand clap for being here. And it is, of course, another great day in the land of Cap Hill, of course. And it's always a pleasure to have you here. Let me know when you're ready, Brother Nate, so we can get this party started. And welcome to all of you coming into the chat and those of you who may watch it on the replay game. Always a pleasure to see you all. Hey, what's going on, sir? How are you today?
I'm doing quite fine, sir. And yourself?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Anything new happening? I know the week has just started, but anything new going on with you yet?
No, all's quiet. Thank God.
Okay. All quiet, but a win.
Yes. Be gone with the wind.
The wind has been blowing and definitely moving and shaking some things around in more ways than one. Hey, hey, Miss Tina, how are you? Always a pleasure to see you. I know
Hey,
you
Miss
usually
Tina.
catch the replay, but it's such a pleasure to have you here. During the live incident, kind of makes me kind of nervous. You're such a famous person here on these YouTube streets. Hey, T. Danielle, always a pleasure to see you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. And again, those of you who are chilling in the balcony area of the Cap Hill, do note that your waiter or waitress will be around for your beverage of choice. And of course, I always have my red cup with something special in it, because you got to have something to deal with a lot of this foolishness on these in these headlines. All right. So without further ado, let's
Okay,
get.
before we start real quick, my main screen just went down. So
Okay.
I don't know. It's updating. I don't because of the power had gone out. So
Yeah.
it'll be a few minutes before I'd be able to drop links and stuff. So
Okay. Sure.
continue, sir.
I will do. All right.
Mhm.
So without further ado, let's get this ball on. All right.
Tell
So
you
let's.
that budget keeps getting bigger and bigger every week.
Yeah. Okay. Tell it to my pockets. So let's just get into some real news that is just when you think things can't get any lower, they definitely just lower the bar just a little bit more. And I'm mainly talking about Ahmaud Arbery's murderers, killers. They're denying ever being racist. In a news story, shout out to The Root for dropping this. Their lawyer, who has been fighting since they were convicted, even before, to kind of get this sentence overturned and lessened, now has come up with the defense that no, they were not racist, and clearly you could. There's evidence to prove that these three were not committing this murder in any racist intent or feelings. Yeah, okay. So that means that the state first that took the case first and they did the first trial, they did not use any of their racial kind of texts back and forth to each other, any racist kind of comments and things that the son, Travis McMichaels, had put on the Facebook or any social media. They didn't use any of that. So of course they were able to kind of paint like they were just concerned citizens. However, federal said, we're not even playing that game. Pull it all out. So in the federal case, they were able to then now pull out all of their text messages between each other on the community board. I guess it's like a neighborhood kind of watch type deal. They were sending messages back and forth to each other in regards not only to the case, but beforehand, and call themselves being vigilant around their neighborhood. But and they're all guilty of that. Not one of them have clean hands in this sense. They just didn't want to be hit with the lynching charge, what they got charged with for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. So, of course, as you know, the Saltines usually do, they don't cry during the act. It's always afterwards when they realize, oh, this is punishment. Oh, this is real. Oh, this is, my life is in jeopardy and danger. While they're doing it, they feel very patriotic and that they're doing something for this land of the semi-free that they seem to always gloat about, because their history books tell them that all the time, that this is the land that your forefathers built and created, which, the reality is no, your forefathers didn't build shit. They sat there and drank and and cheated while other people built it, but it wasn't them. Yeah, so I'm not surprised by this. I'm not even surprised by the lengths of the lawyer to kind of prove that this was not racially motivated. Trying to show digital footprints of how they were more concerned citizens, which of course is BS. So I don't know. Any thoughts on this? Because I'm still waiting for the district attorney actually to get her ass charged before anybody.
Do your time, bitches. Just do your time. Just do your time.
Right.
Stop whining. You should have thought about that beforehand. That jail life is scary, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you can't get the Aryan Brotherhood to kind of back you up and protect you, I guess it is a bit.
All those black dicks,
There's a
black
lot.
dick will do it.
There's a lot of black sausage in there, and yeah, and not too many cigarettes and ho-hos and ding-dongs and Twinkies.
There's a lot of ding-dongs, but ain't what you want. There's the chocolatey goodness.
It ain't gonna stop somebody from tapping on that cell. So I don't know. I mean, I just it's funny to me. People don't ever consider crimes like this when the verdict actually comes out and they get punished. Then it's like, let's try to stand in it. Stand in it. You stood in it when you murdered him. You stood in it not only before then when you chased him down. You stood it when you murdered him. You stood in it when you had his blood all on you, and you're sitting over there cheering as if you did some great deed. But now all of a sudden we want to act a certain way. I'm so tired of this turn the other cheek.
That's that privilege. That privilege. You don't have to think about the ramifications of what you're doing.
Right. Like you remove somebody's entire existence from a whole family with no questions asked. You didn't even bother to ask any questions or anything. The first thing you thought about was destroy because somebody's quote unquote in your neighborhood. And then, because we've had a lot of break-ins and that's always the same line all the time. We've always had break-ins. We did this, that, and the other. Cut it out. Like, granted, this is a new day and age that people can move and live anywhere. I know, that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but the reality is it is what it is. If the people have the money, they're going to move there. And there's not too much you can do or say about it unless you're trying to make somebody's life a living hell. So still prayers to the Ahmaud Arbery family as they continue to get justice for the murder of their son, brother, friend, and so on and so forth. So definitely. So moving right along. So Senator Turtleneck, Mitch McConnell, had a fall just last week. Actually, as we were ending this show, I think it happened Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. He wound up having a little tumble, and I meant to get the little clip of the turtle falling because that was hilarious. But I didn't have time to do it today. But if you follow me on Instagram, then you definitely have seen in my stories the little turtle falling backwards. That is just what Mitch McConnell did. He had a little tumble, and let's not forget that Mitch McConnell is clearly in his 80s. If he's not, he's close to it. So, and this is what also when I think about politicians and this kind of thing where they, literally got to be carried out by the coroner or a funeral director before they decide to give up the seat. And then they're like, I'm doing this for the people. You can't be. If you've been in there 30 years, that means you have made buku money. And this is all that you're concerned about because you're not concerned about the constituents. Because if you were so concerned about the constituents, you would know that your constituents are changing. The demographic is changing. So therefore, there would be somebody in there that they can relate to more that would be able to know the actual heartbeat of what you represent. You don't live there anymore. You don't even go out and see those people that are really on the ground voting for you.
Oh, no. So out of touch with his constituents.
Right. Clearly, you could tell by that whole turtleneck. But anyway, So yeah, he's fallen, and instead of coming back to the Senate, he is on his way to a rehab facility after his stay in the hospital. He was just recently released. I think this was Monday. He was released on Monday after his fall. He had a concussion and also a rib fracture. Because of course, he's old and delicate. So you gotta be careful. You can't be just falling around. Well, good thing he had a life alert because he fell and he couldn't get up, and somebody was there to help him. So his aide, his communication aide or communications director, basically broke the news that Mitch McConnell will not be heading directly home. He will be going to a facility to repair his till he gets all healed up with his fractured rib, basically a broken rib, and
and I think he has a concussion also.
Yeah, a concussion and a broken rib, and he will be going after the facility. He will be going home and not returning to Washington as of yet. I mean, it's no rush. He is not the majority leader in the Senate. He is the minority, so there's no rush there. However, I still think that Mitch McConnell, is doing his dirt. Way he does.
Oh, you know what? The first thing I thought when I heard he had his accident was, did he die? That's sad. When that's the first thought, it's like, damn. Say, Lord, why do you keep forsaking us like that?
Right? Because I thought he was. I was like, oh, are they gonna say he died? But no, they didn't.
Oh, I thought his ass was done.
No.
But I think something else medically is going on with him also.
Yeah,
you remember. He's had a couple of bouts, and it's not just in the large prostate, okay?
Right.
He had some serious, bruising, and
yeah.
when they get older, it really shows.
Right. Yeah, you'd be looking like Queen Elizabeth on that last final day. You see them hands was black as I don't know what. Like she's about to go,
looking like a junkie shooting up.
She is about to go meet the king in her original form. But yeah, so I guess for those of who are concerned, be concerned about Mitch McConnell and a speedy recovery.
Not me.
No, not at all the stuff that he's done, and now sometimes that stuff comes full circle in one way or another. So, it is what it is. And speaking of crimes or somebody falling, hate crimes have dropped in 2021. So they say. But of course, key data points in this report from the FBI, no less, is missing. So definitely want to check out that. It's interesting. The FBI shows that hate crimes in the U.S. slightly dropped in 2021. I don't see where, but
No, I don't believe it because a lot of the police precincts and things, they no longer send the information because it's like on a voluntary basis.
Right, exactly.
And they're just gonna, just so that everybody just assumes that things
and feel like things are getting better. Yeah, things are getting better.
I mean, if they're covering up murders that they're committing, what makes you think they're not going to lie on a questionnaire?
Right, on a questionnaire about. Do you think hate crimes have gone down since 2021? We could clearly see that hate crimes, if you don't want to consider them to be hate crimes, quote unquote, have been on the rise. Attacks on people. You talking about transgender women. That's been on the rise. So are we classifying hate crimes as only crimes against someone due to their race or ethnicity? Or are we actually classifying hate crimes as hate crimes?
Yeah, and that's another thing that they're playing with. What you classify it as.
Right. Yep. But of course, that's what they do around here. Let's see. We talked about that. We didn't get to that yet. Hold off on that. Which one was this? No, let's go with the good news. All right, so here's some good news to talk about since we always
there's actually some.
Yeah, harp on the bad stuff. Tulsa race massacre survivors have officially been granted Ghanaian citizenship. So let's see. So remember the survivors, the brother and sister.
And there was one more also.
Right.
They haven't said anything about her. I wonder if she's still here.
Right. Viola Fletcher, who is 108, who survived the 1921 Tulsa race massacres, and her brother, who's 101, Hughes Van Ellis. They've been granted citizenship in, is it
It's Ghana.
Yeah, in Ghana. So, yeah, I think that's, I mean,
I hope they get over there.
Right.
That's a long ass flight, but that was the first time.
Well, they did the flight. They did the flight once, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to do it again.
Do it again, yeah. But this time when they did it, they went to the embassy here in the States, and got their citizenship, which was the first time they've ever done that.
Right.
Which I think is great.
Yeah. It's it was great. It was a nice celebration. It had African musicians and dances by young people, and I think it's an awesome thing. I think our history is rich. Even with the violence and the murders, we still have a rich history that I think should not be erased. We should constantly be talking about it. We should constantly be reminding these sensitive saltines that they did this. They contributed, or not only contributed, but they benefit from these type of situations when white tears are unheard, and when they feel kind of as if they're not counted and other people are beating them. They get in this rage, and then they want to destroy what you've built using less than what they have. But it's like we got to feel sorry for them. It's always a pandering, always we have to hold their hand and guide them through it. No, we don't have to hold their hand and guide them through this. They created all of this, and I thank the Lord that these 2 and even 3 individuals were able to live to 108, 101, to be able to tell the story of exactly what happened, because they'll make it seem as if it was just a simple, there was just a kind of misunderstanding. No, these people came in here because they were jealous of a thriving town and destroyed it. Completely and utterly destroyed it and killed and murdered people that graves are still not accounted for. Mm-hmm. Which the government itself won't even pay or do anything to. Yeah. So I mean, it's just ridiculous. And not only that, 28 other cities in these United States were done the same way, and we only talk about a few of them.
Yeah, I'm glad they were able to say it in their own words.
Yeah.
So that there isn't any misunderstanding, and they can't cover that up.
Right.
And then too, the fact that even though their ancestors may not have come from Ghana, mm-hmm. but just to be connected to the continent,
right.
It's most the symbolic,
right.
gesture of the whole thing, which is really I really like.
You have so many other people connecting themselves to a homeland they've probably never seen, or mm-hmm. just in the simple fact that they know that their great grandmother or great grandfather came from such a place that they instantly have no problem with connecting. And we've been so disconnected thanks to the greed of the Europeans, whether they be Spanish or whatever, utilizing free labor to make this that we stand on and other places thrive and make money. So I just don't, I'm not here for it. I'm really not here for it. I appreciate that we do have people standing up and really saying enough is enough, and the truth needs to be told. Now, as far as everybody, with this whole Florida bullshit and trying to erase history, I think that's it's sad, but these are the things that when you don't vote, this is what happens, and it's unfortunate. I know I say it over and over. I sound like a broken record, but it is very true. All right. And in other news, Black Americans or Black, the U.S. government ponders over boxes that people check. So in other words, like when you're doing your census and there's African American or other, we are really having this discussion. Some people say that they don't like to check the African American box, that they just consider themselves to be Black, which I guess is your thing to do. But the White House is actually weighing in on this whole discussion. The White House Office Management and Budget has set a decision on the classification of next year's plans to host a town hall in regards to race and classification. So just curious, when you read the article, let me know what you think. And I would like to know if you actually classify yourself or consider yourself African American, Black, or what have you. I think that's very interesting.
It all depends on the day of the week and what stupid shit have they done to piss me off.
Yeah. So,
now I would go for American with of African descent.
Right.
Yeah. That's enough for me. I'm tired. It's like every we went in my lifetime. We went from colored to Black to African American.
Okay.
It's like
yeah.
Like I said, it all depends on how much they piss me off. So
yeah. I don't know. I mean, granted, I like your American or African descent because
I think they all should be like that. That of Asian descent or that of because even though say for instance Asian, you have East Asian, South Asian, that type of thing because you have certain regions,
right?
But you're just not going to generically just plop anything in there,
right?
And I just get tired of every 20 or 30 years them changing it up like it's going to make really a difference. They still treat you like the same.
Like shit, right?
I don't care what it is. Right. I don't care what you call it,
Right. It's so like
whether you're wearing Gucci, it's like I said, they still treat you like shit.
Right.
It seems like Chris Rock said differences between Black people and that's right, and ends.
Yeah, it really is crazy. But speaking of crazy, recently, of course, that we've heard the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank, of course, due to, no surprise here, Republicans removing regulations that were set in place to prevent banks from failing.
That goddamn Darnell, I tell you, man.
Yeah. It's just really crazy how he really was just like, it's almost like somebody getting instructions to put something together and was like, fuck these instructions. We got this. And then when it starts to fall apart and you see all the screws in the bag and you're like, did you not put the screws in? Oh, I didn't know.
I had parts left over.
They gave you so many extra parts. Like, no, you needed to use everything to ensure that you're protecting. And this is where the average people get hurt the most because you're putting your funds into all these things to where what you're thinking, okay, this is something good because, of course, the Silicon Valley had this big boom. So everybody was trying to throw in their money into what would be the next Bill Gates or what would be the next Apple product. So they just thought they were flying high. And of course, here comes Darnell talking about we don't need regulations for this. We don't need regulations for that. Let's just cut through the red tape. And you cut it up and you fucked it up because everybody, the investors are the ones that hurt the most in this flop. Granted, people who put their money in the bank, of course, your money is insured. So some of them will come out okay. But the investors that actually put their money in to put the bank together, I wonder how they feel about Donald Trump now.
I don't know.
I don't know, Darnell.
It's starting to make me wonder what the big picture is because there's so many other moving parts and things that are going on right now. Just trying to see if it's all tied in together. What are they trying to do?
I ain't even gonna tell you who the Republicans have blamed this whole kerfuffle on.
But they gave themselves they gave themselves was it was it a bonus
Bonus.
Friday?
Yeah.
Friday right before
That's,
everything collapsed. They gave
yep,
themselves a bonus.
they did. They
But then there
did.
was a run on the bike. That's what caused it. Was people got whiffed that something was going on with the bank,
Mhm.
and they withdrew all their money, which caused it to collapse.
They hurried up and withdrew it, but they're blaming it on the woke movement.
Oh yeah, that's all. white people get a hold of some shit,
That's it, and they run with it.
and they just keep running. Everything is the wokeness. It's like
You,
it's like nigga, you don't even know what woke is, nigga.
right?
God
You
damn.
have no idea. None. It's like you learned a new phrase and you're just gonna keep going with it. Like
It is just like being hip. Yeah, man.
yeah, right.
I tell you, these white folks something else.
They are something else. Speaking of something else, the federal government is investigating an Illinois school where students with disabilities were frequently arrested. The civil rights inquiry by the Department of Education follows a ProPublica's and a Chicago Tribune investigation that found that schools regularly called the police to arrest students. Now, I'm just curious, not so curious, what race these students happen to be.
That I was curious also.
Yeah, so the investigation in a tiny Illinois, school district with students with disabilities to determine whether or not children who were enrolled had done inappropriate behaviors that would kind of cause them to be arrested. A lot of times, law enforcement was called for misbehavior to this school. The investigation started on February 13th, 2 months after ProPublica and the Chicago Tribune had reported how the district was operating. So, yeah, and a lot of these children have emotional, behavioral disabilities as well. So
they don't have staff on hand.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It's like if this school is not geared towards that, how do you have so many students who happen to have emotional and behavioral disabilities, and you don't have people on staff to handle that without calling law enforcement, who we already know do not know how to de-escalate a damn thing.
I was going to say until somebody's kid gets shot.
But I don't get it. It really makes no sense to me. And then even that, the only time you'll hear the outrage is when other people come forth out the woodworks that they don't want, when the Al Sharptons of the world and swipe down on their little old town, and then they don't want all the heat, then they're going to have, let's do something about it. The whole time this has been going on. This is really ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, good evening, everybody coming into the chat.
How you doing? I am.
Hey, Starbell, Lex.
Hey. So definitely a story to check out. Let's see what else.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's the first thing I figured. It's like, you have. Suppose you have that one big kid that's 14, that's maybe 250, 6 feet, and you have no type of security. Right. Then you did see the clip about the student that tackled the teacher that took away his game.
I briefly saw that. I didn't watch all
the the shit out of her.
Yeah.
He tackled her ass.
He tackled her in the hallway. Yeah, I saw that in the hallway.
He kept and there was he was having he was a special needs student
having an episode,
and he's having the episode was she took his shit. So and he told her he was going to kill her as they let him, because he got up, they got him up and everything. He didn't fight with anybody or anything, but as he was walking past her, because she took his game, he said he was going to kill her.
Wow, that's so unfortunate. But yeah, I think as much. Granted, teachers, they have an amazing job. They do an amazing work. But they need help. Not only do they need to be paid more, but they do need help. and people need to actually be trained. We don't need to be training people to carry guns in school for a student in an altercation to wind up, God forbid, grabbing the gun that the teacher has and causing more
Oh no,
mayhem. You need
teachers
to
will be
have
popping students
trained
left and right. I don't care what anybody say.
You said what?
Teachers will be popping students left and right. I don't
Yeah,
care what
yeah,
anybody says.
yeah. And that too, and that too, especially when you get some of those others in there,
Mm-hmm.
which is
And
crazy.
because there will be. I was afraid.
Yeah. Who you telling? Very afraid for everybody. And speaking of schools, Lunchables. Y'all remember Lunchables? Those little things that, well, some because my mother ain't never bought. She didn't buy them things. She didn't believe in them things. Like, I'm not spending that money for that. Lunchables is actually doing a rollout to students this fall. Your child will have a Lunchable or possible Lunchable of some sort in the school. This scares me because a lot of the schools do actually cook their lunches.
Yeah.
So this kind of puts you back into that process.
And that's the first thing I thought about.
Yes.
Who's making money?
Who's making money? But the Kraft Heinz company, and yes, that's the Kraft with the cheese. It's fake. And Heinz ketchup. Of course, they have
synthetic meat and plastic cheese.
Exactly. They have successfully entered into the school lunch kind of program. They have set package school lunches for many schools starting this fall in the school lunch program. Lunchables.
When does a cracker and a piece of bologna and a piece of cheese
and some meal or what is that a meal?
It becomes a meal. And all that salt, as salty as, because you tasted those things, it's salty as hell.
It just makes no sense. And then the fact that a lot of these, and to be very clear, a lot of students depend upon the lunch program to feed themselves because, maybe their home dynamic is not where they can get a meal all the time or, something like that. So, to send that home as a snack, maybe so. But to have something like that as a lunch program for children, no, I think this is a whole big setup. And I'm not buying it, but I don't know.
Yeah, referring back to the previous story about the young man tackling the teacher. It was a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
If it was another game, he'd have probably stomped her to death.
He'd be.
He was big enough. He was a big guy.
Yeah, he was a big kid. Yeah, I did see that.
He said better than no food.
And she just walked away like she had this, like, girl, you don't have to. You take it.
What is she gonna do? She can't go up
no,
against
but she walked away so nonchalantly, like as if he wasn't gonna. He literally chased her down. Like by the time she turned around, it was boom. It was all over. But I just think that
it kind of reminded me of that. I don't know if you've ever seen it. And I know you've heard of it. Mm-hmm. The elephant that killed
that woman.
But they showed the clip from it.
Yeah,
where the elephant came through the town. It killed her, ran her down, and killed her and everything. Then went back to the funeral.
Right,
having her funeral and flipped that shit up
to make sure she did.
Didn't get. I was like, damn, that kind of reminded me of that shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. And speaking of flipping people over, the White House is rebuking Mike Pence over homophobic joke he said about Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg, who is the director of transportation for the Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe administration, had a few choice words for Pete Buttigieg. Of course, Pete Buttigieg is an openly gay man who's married to another man who happens to be the director of transportation for the Biden administration. But I'm just like, come on, Mike. First of all, we've seen them pictures of you in college, high school, or whatever it was, looking at every bit of gay.
All sorts of strange things happen in college.
Yeah, look at
cover yourself.
like he was salad tossing or getting tossed or whatever else, just looking every bit of crazy. And then not only that, sir, just a couple of years ago, they were talking about hanging you and you was running. So now you got the courage to go deal with Donald Trump and the rest of the people that wanted to hang you first. When you got smoke for them and you can talk, crap to them, then maybe you can talk crap to other people. But until then, how about you just keep your mouth closed? Because I just thought that was just reaching. I know this is kind of the attack on the LGBT thing for the Republicans right now, and this seems to be the hot ticket. But it's amazing to me how the same ones doing the most attacking are the ones we are discovering have little back secrets of their own. Yeah.
Keyword back, right?
Yeah, right. Keyword in back secrets. And speaking of that, I thought I did download it, but I didn't. But the lieutenant governor of Tennessee, just last week, remember we talked about Tennessee having a ban against drag queens, but the lieutenant governor of Tennessee, and you can check it out probably if you drop the link for the little YouTube clip, because they be acting funny and I don't have time for all the back and forth. But anyway, the short of this is the lieutenant governor, who is pro supporter of this don't say gay and attack on the LGBT and wanting to actually end drag shows in the state of Tennessee, was following and commenting on an openly gay man's picture of his ass. And when they tried to ask him about it, he said he was just trying to lead him to the Lord and showing him the right way. And the comment,
lead him and show him.
he was gonna lead him all right. But the comments that he was leaving for this young man, what I personally think is he thought he was on his other IG account, and he just happened to be on his official IG account, and it didn't switch over.
Right one. He was on the right one.
Yeah, right.
He just said that nobody would notice.
Yeah, but I mean, it said lieutenant governor. It said, so I don't know how you think nobody would notice. I guess you think if you do it in plain sight, nobody would notice, kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, definitely they noticed, and they screenshotted it all over the place. And he's been trying to answer for it. And all he can say is he was just trying to lead the young man to the Lord. But however, he was saying, boy, and I'm paraphrasing, but something like his body, he has a great looking body and all this other kind of stuff. That's not leading someone to the Lord. That's leading them to the bed.
No, he's probably saying, show us some nuts. You got some hangers there. These motherfuckers, you know what? They the worst ones.
They are.
I was reading. He said, "I have 2 kids or something and 3 grandkids." That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, no, what does that mean? What does that mean? That don't mean anything. That don't mean just because
you're young and tender. That's what it is.
Right. Just because you laid up with your wife and have kids, don't mean that you were still looking at Bob, Billy Bob and whomever else was cutting your grass or cleaning your pool and over in the bathroom having, wild thoughts, and it just caught up with you. That's all. There's all this stuff that you do, kind of bashing other people and don't say gay and all this other kind of stuff. And you kind of find out that all these people having these
have his Grindr app go off.
Yeah, right.
I hear the meat. Sound familiar? What's that? Ooh. Wait a minute.
When your Grindr app is going off in the middle of a meeting, get out of here. Just be you. Just be you. All the hatred because you can't be yourself is ridiculous to me. I don't get it. I really don't get it. If people would concern themselves more with their own soul salvation and stop trying to worry about others, this would be a better place, because none of us know, none of us are God. So you sitting over here judging somebody else for what they do in their privacy of their bedroom. You don't know. You have no idea.
Motherfuckers always hate. Just because you can't do what you want to do, you want to fuck it
Right.
up for everybody.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, if you look at this guy, you really think like, who's actually doing you? You know what I'm saying? Like, really?
He look like he be out there fucking cows. That's what he actually looked like.
Right, right. Oh, livestock and shit, because he can't get none.
Wonder why the milk is curdled. Okay, that's enough.
About mad cow disease, just absolutely disgusting. But yeah, definitely check out.
Don't need to be from there.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. You end up sick. Don't want to do that.
Got a lot of cholesterol.
Yes, and all of this is definitely affecting our health as Black people. Because
they over there fucking cows, and we the ones with all with the poor ass medical system and everything else, and we drop it dead. That's how systematic racism works. That has a trickle down effect.
It all trickles down. It all affects everybody. So here in this new study, that poor sleep actually hurts Black health. A Minnesota researcher has discovered that, surprise, surprise, poor sleep in this 2-decade research from policymakers showing that the lack of sleep leads to poor health. I mean, I'm not surprised. How are we not surprised? But of course, because they say, it affects Black people more due to the fact that it has negative aspects on the appearance of cancer in Black people, cardiovascular disease, heart disease, diabetes, otherwise known as the sugars, hypertension, obesity, which we got a lot of those, and you said what?
And thick ankles.
Yes, and thick ankles.
But yes, because I'm one of those ones. Just the daily stressors that we go through.
Yeah.
It's hard to wind down.
Yeah.
I resort to sleeping pills.
Okay.
I tell you so, because I can't settle down. Or it's like those quick 15-minute naps, and it's like, no, I need to be sleeping, through the night. And you're just up. Ambien is really good, as Roseanne Barr.
Melatonin, it does not work.
It doesn't do anything for me. No.
Yeah, that doesn't. No.
And occasionally you have to switch if you're because now I just use the over counter whenever. Now I just go to sleep whenever I go to sleep, that type of thing. But but when I had to keep a certain schedule, and I was taking that Ambien, that shit, you got to clear your mind. You've been ate the whole fucking turkey out of the refrigerator. Whatever's the last thing that's on your mind, you will actually get up and act on it.
Wow.
It's that strong. I mean, it's one of those ones that it puts you out real fast, like within the first half an hour.
Yeah.
But for me, it doesn't hold me down during the night. I'll pop back up like in a couple of hours. And then I'm just as wide awake. And then say later on in the day, it will kick back in and you'll get real sleepy. Now, if you're operating equipment or you driving a car or something like that, it's real dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see that. I mean, just the daily stressors of everything. You just can't. Your mind doesn't shut down.
Yeah, and I mean, dealing with a lot of things. You're dealing with, maintaining a household and things of that nature, where other people can probably just work one job. You have 2 and 3 just trying to make ends meet, or do what you can. So there's a lot of factors that would play a role in kind of the sleep deprivation of our people. But
and it catches up to you. You can't you can't bank sleep.
Yeah, right.
Figure you're going to make it up on the weekend or whatever. But knowing that you're not going to, because you still got shit to do.
Yeah, very true. And diet and exercise and all that plays a part too. But but your sleep is important. So definitely check out that article, because sleep is definitely important, and we need to get it. And speaking of,
hey J Boss Rebel, how y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm just running off. Also, speaking of that, another health. So I guess we in the wellness part of this, food allergies have taken an uneven toll on Black children. So, food allergies amongst children, especially Black children, are higher rates of allergies amongst Black children, and which are concerning to parents. Mainly, what I would think of, even before I started to read the article, is the kids with the food allergies that need the kind of shot real quick if they happen to ingest something that they
Oh,
like.
yeah.
And a lot of these schools may not have the actual stuff
Well, no,
because they're not. Mhm.
yeah, because that's Joe Manchin's daughter. Okay, and she owns the company. Oh, she was president of the company.
President. Yeah, she was president. She was president.
And it went up to what, $1,000 for a 2-pack, some
Yeah,
shit like that.
and a lot of the schools.
The EpiPen, is it the EpiPen?
Yeah, EpiPen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
See how all this stuff kind of it ties in together.
So a lot of the schools can't afford to keep it in stock because they don't have it in the budget. So this has caused a lot of parents, especially in the inner city, because this study happens to be in New York, to become very wary of their child being in school and possibly ingesting something that they have an allergic reaction to, because there's not enough to supply the entire school if enough children happen to get sick from eating something. They discovered this when the one lady that they did the interview with discovered this back in 2017 when her 3-year-old suffered an allergic reaction to a grilled cheese sandwich at a preschool.
And that's real easy because not everybody's privy to what your kid is allergic to, the lunch aids or somebody new, and they'll just go ahead and give them whatever it is that's on the menu. Yeah, you're right, T. Daniels, $80 each, and they expire in 6 months. So
a year. So the school boards would have to be, shoveling out a lot of money. And not only this, but we also go misdiagnosed for things of that nature. 1 out of every 17 kids. 1 out of every 17 kids get diagnosed with a food allergy in the United States since 2021. That's crazy. And only 8.5% of them are actually diagnosed. Some of them go, years without really knowing that they even have an allergy.
Yeah. It's something as simple as peanut butter.
Right. And that's kind of white and other children we're talking about with the 5.8%. And Black children is 7.6. 7.6%.
Yeah, well, it all goes hand in hand. You have a terrible medical system that deals with us, and everything just falls through, and everything is amplified.
And it kind of works in that way. Let's see, what was this one? We did that one.
Let me see. Homeschool your grandparents and in their bag. Always must have it. Yeah, because you never know.
No, you don't.
One time you're out having a good time and they have an episode.
Right. Here's some other news. Senator Cory Booker. I don't know if you guys remember who Cory Booker is. He's a senator out of New Jersey who was dating the actress. Last name was Oreo.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still dating or not, but he aims to make prisons or prisoners safer by adding a livable wage for inmates.
I'm not mad.
No, right. That's what I was about to say. Like, I personally think that this would be a good thing. For one, they have been utilizing prison inmates for slave labor for years and barely getting next to nothing. I think this would be able to, one, not only increase the trade market with inmates actually learning a trade and learning a skill and really being able to then come out of the prison system and utilize that trade that they have, worked on for so many years and actually gain a living, but actually have something for themselves. You work and kind of feel like, granted, yeah, you may be in a situation where your freedom is stifled, but why not? If they're working, if they're building things and making things for these Fortune 500 companies, why the hell can't they get paid a living wage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because prisons don't rehabilitate.
No.
They should.
But every other country's prisons rehabilitate, but ours.
Yeah, because once they're released, and if they don't have the right frame of mind, you just make a better criminal. That's all. That's all. But
and they wind up coming back.
Yeah, but if you have manufacturing skills, you can take that and go anywhere.
Right.
Now, whether or not we had the jobs to do it, that's another thing. And if you go over to China, where they make all the iPhones and shit, you get picked right up. Yeah, over China.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So here we go. Now, for those of you who live in Arkansas, I feel sorry for y'all because I blame Florida. Ron DeSantis, Ron DeSatan, he started this shit, and all these other Republican governors are running, and Republican House leaders are running with this shit, and it started to get really ridiculous. Arkansas, state approved banning affirmative action. Now, granted, for those of us who really know anything about affirmative action, it was never for us to begin with. It was for white women. But however, we were able to kind of sneak in there and actually, kind of make some things shake. However, but it was originally indoctrinated for white women. So, they want to push to get rid of affirmative action, to ban it altogether. Right, and you may think, well, I'm not in Arkansas. What's the big deal? Because these are just the starting points. These are just the starting points before it goes before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court bans it altogether across the country. So they're throwing stuff out here, which would indeed, and this ban on affirmative action will, as far as historically Black colleges and universities will suffer from this removal. Health initiatives will suffer from this. So, it's not a thing where I know they like to make it seem like, oh, we don't have to deal with that anymore. We've moved past it. We should be able to, we don't need that anymore. Bullshit. You can clearly see from the legislation and things that are happening right now that there's a huge divide. And it's not just between Republicans and Democrats. It is upon racial lines, a lot of this stuff. So definitely something to check out because it's really happening. I know I had another one here of Arkansas as well, so I wanted to just get that out of here before I go to the Pledge of Allegiance. But I can't wait to go.
Yeah, but it seems like every every red state is trying something. They're each taking a section of the wall and poking at it to see what they can actually get through.
Yeah, right. And until they get that moment to where it goes before the Supreme Court, that's what they're pushing for. They're just putting it out there. So then that way people say, oh, that's unconstitutional. Okay, is it really? Put it before the Supreme Court. They already have the majority to do so. So it just, you know what I'm saying? So that's their kind of thing. That's their ticket. Also in Arkansas, they have a bill to remove, and this one I thought was really interesting, to remove the work permit requirement for children under the age of 16. And you figure, well, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Children, if they want to work, let them work. No, these companies are just out to make money. They're getting tired of being sued for having these children work and violating labor laws. They've been paying millions of dollars because they've been violating the labor laws, having children under the age of 13 working long hours in a lot of these factories like Tyson's Food. And so when you go in to get your party chicken wings and shit, know that little Billy was probably
chicken wings. Okay. Who got something? Them goddamn things. We got the little pigeon wings we got out here.
Yeah, but I just don't. Children 12 and 13.
No, until somebody gets named,
right.
You know. But then too, you have to remember, right at during this the chlamydia outbreak that we had here.
Yeah.
During the chlamydia outbreak we had for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
People had, what was that?
I said, speak for yourself. Go ahead.
People have become more self-sufficient and started working for themselves. So they have not, you had people who have died, millions of people who have died that, you don't have the workforce anymore.
Yeah.
And you have people who have become more self-sufficient in opening their own businesses.
Yeah.
So we need, a capitalist country needs workers. You don't have the workers. And then you have some people that just said, fuck it. I'm not going to flip no burgers. I don't want to be up in customers' faces. Mm-hmm. They acted like purity asses. All they were worried about was getting their hair done.
Yeah.
So they're looking at that too,
But they're talking about that this would reduce kid trafficking.
No, but you'll have a more illiterate.
Right. Yeah, because people
they be dropping out of school. Because if everybody can work, if your household is struggling and everybody can work, say you can start
their argument too.
12 or 13. They're going to put you to work. They're going to say the hell with your school. Oh, you can get your schooling later on. No, but even the type for a low end, not a low end, for a non-skilled labor force.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that they're going to be able to do, because everything is computerized. You can't read.
Look at West Virginia. They're dealing with that right now with all the trying to keep the coal mine. It's like that's all you can do because you can't do anything else. You went straight from school, and when you were old enough, you were down in the coals. That's all you know.
You thought it would last forever.
Yeah, right.
Those types of things. But if you can't measure, if you can't count, the only thing you can count is your 40 hours a week plus overtime. You have a underserved class of people, and you have your sweatshops over here.
Like Oliver Twist to me. Can I have some more? It just sounds really crazy.
Not if they're chicken wings, because we getting them all.
I can't. That is just crazy. So also some more craziness. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Republican nutcase out of Georgia, basically Kevin McCarthy, the Congress Speaker of the House, temporarily gave his gavel to Marjorie Taylor Greene to preside over the floor 6 days ago. I don't know what all this is about, like the kissing of I got you these votes, or I got you this is what you owe me type of deal that's going on here. But I, again, can't see any true conservative thinking that all of this makes sense. It's such a clown show. Even with their hearings, it is like they're unorganized. They're talking about stuff that's so left field. They're talking about Hunter Biden that has nothing to do with the actual president that we're dealing with. Because if that was the case, we could have been talking about Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump and all the kids from the bullshit that they were doing. But I really don't get these people. I really don't. And they're less concerned about their people and more concerned about what? Making Donald Trump look good or making people pay for investigating him? I just don't. And she's just like tickled pink with all this kind of, I don't know, whatever she's getting. But I really don't. I hope she's not dropping it low at the speaker's desk for the speaker on the speaker.
Nasty.
I mean,
Oh.
she was at the State of the Union dressed looking like a hip hop video in an all white.
Well, you gotta make your money when you can make your money.
And she just recently divorced.
Because she had an affair, right?
Yeah. But they never said who
Ew,
she
that's
had an
nasty.
affair with. And I wonder.
What if it smelled like mustard?
Denny's mustard. Sure doesn't smell like French's.
Hey, Pastor Nate, how you doing?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for coming in. All right, and lastly, I do have a story out of South Carolina where a ninth grader is suing over the Pledge of Allegiance confrontation in this high school in Columbia, South Carolina. This ninth grader was walking down the hall during the Pledge of Allegiance, and she didn't stop. She continued to walk. Upon that, she decided, I guess she went home, told her parents, and they've decided to take action to sue not only the school board, the teacher. They're going for everybody, the principal, everybody to get their hands.
The teacher put her hands on her.
Right. To tell her to stop for the Pledge of Allegiance. So they're going to take this further and basically sue everybody, or put everybody in there who they could sue, and see what sticks. I don't know. I mean, part of this is of course, don't let nobody put their hands on you. That part's suing for, but it's the pledge. I mean, you don't necessarily have to agree with it, but I mean, to stop for a moment, would that really have been a killer? I don't know.
But it's I was gonna say not enough for them for a teacher to put their hands on you and force you up against the wall.
Well, that's that.
But you know what it is? It's that whiteness coming out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
how dare you
right
continue to move? You're supposed to stop, even though you're not saying allegiance or whatever. You're supposed to stop. God damn it, these we train them young.
Right.
And she was felt that though she was protected enough that she could go ahead and discipline this child in this manner.
Yeah.
Now I have to hand it to the parents, because I'd have kicked that bitch's back right in. Okay. plain and simple. You don't.
I get that.
It's not like somebody's fighting or something like that. When you talk about the freaking ass Pledge of Allegiance, you look at them. Don't piss on the flag, okay? That type of thing. But you don't put your hands on my child. But then their response from the school system.
From the school system and school board has been ridiculous. They actually have not apologized, nor have they acknowledged the hurt that the young woman has gone through due to this ordeal. Which is typical them. They don't really care nothing about it until they have to, until that lawsuit comes down. Then all of a sudden it's woe is us. We got to suffer through this. All of this woke and this Black Lives Matter. That's they're gonna start crying
saying that woke word. But
they don't know what they want to be mad at.
But kudos to the parents, because I'd be like, yes, baby, you going to college. Yeah, we're going to get these. Let's play it up. I want you to be destroyed. We're going to send you to some psychiatrists.
Right.
You can't go back to school when you fear, you're fearing.
Yes.
Every
time you hear the Pledge of Allegiance, you get the shit.
That's right. I pissed my pants every time. Oh my goodness. Then they make us sing that song.
Yes.
It's but yeah.
One nation under God.
What you want to go to?
Right here under God. Huh?
And this is a straight A. This is a straight A.
Good student. Yeah.
So yes, baby, you getting the free ride.
Right.
Because I sure would.
Be like Oprah, you get a free ride. You get a free ride. Everybody gets a free ride. Yeah. All right.
Well, I guess it is a good thing that I'm not their kid's parent, because I'd just be in jail, because I've been to put my hands all on. I done fucked up my baby's schooling. I'd have went there hot. Because I'd have went there hot real quick.
Yeah. Truly. I get that. All right. So I think that was it.
Is that everything? Affirmative action.
We did that. We did that. Just running through real quick. I think I got everything. Oh no, I missed one. All right, so this is a good one to end on.
Okay.
Harriet Tubman's monument replaces Christopher not finding America, don't know what the fuck he found, Columbus statue in New Jersey. Take a look at it. Let me know what you think. I think it's better than some of the others that had her looking like, girl. I like this one better. Some of the others I've seen, I didn't necessarily know they could keep those. But no, this one was decent. I liked it. And I think it's cool. First of all, what did he discover? Nothing, because everybody was already here when he quote unquote discovered it. Records have proven that they were black, brown, blue, purple people eaters or whatever already in these quote unquote United States before that Spaniard / Italian / whatever mutt he wanted to call himself discovered this place. So it's nice to see people coming around. Now
Well,
we can
at least I knew what it was.
Huh?
But I said at least I knew what it was. It's better than that. Better than the Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King.
Right.
I guess it's called the
Embrace.
It's called the Embrace.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the Embrace.
Yeah,
Right.
I had to. That one I had to look, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I see it. I see it now." After I saw the picture, but art is subjective.
It could have been the Embrace as well from the way it looks. It looked like
It looked like a couple other things. You might
that's what I'm saying. It just looks like it looks crazy, but definitely I think some great work, and it's nice to see that a lot of these things that people have had up there for years celebrating stuff that weren't really true and didn't really happen the way that they like to glorify it is being taken down, and some real true patriots and heroines and heroes are being placed in their stead. So that's awesome.
Yeah, well, at least that came through. Unlike the tub, that her being on the $20 bill.
Yeah.
Because, they kind of hushed that. You don't hear.
Yeah, and they swept that right up under the rug. Like even though Darnell was not a fan of it, it wasn't going to even happen. I at least thought the conversation was going to reappear about it or something similar to it, but that has been hushed too, which I'm not surprised because again, nobody was thinking that this man was going to be the savior and come through and be Obama Part 2. He's just he's just a more suitable version of Trump, a more tolerable version of Trump. But I'm sure he's Trump light. He's like, I don't really want.
I don't know, because you know what? We may be pulling his dick out of our asses years to come, because
right.
Because you'll hear about something that has happened that nobody, with all this other stuff that's going on, that's what
nobody's paying attention to.
What really worries me, because we have so much, and it's foolishness that's going on.
Yes.
A whole lot of foolishness, and then later on down the road, well, during the Biden administration, he did this, and this. It's like, oh, okay, I vaguely heard about it, and I didn't hear anything else about it. And we been pulling that dick out for years, just pulling.
Yeah, just pulling. We've been pulling.
What do you think about the whole TikTok thing? How that's kind of playing out now?
Well, I didn't, as I said last week, I never understood why you would put that on your government phone, knowing that it is
it's a government phone
based operated program, and it's a government phone. All of your government, whether they classified or unclassified, still government information goes through that phone. So why would you have that apparatus on it? Get another phone. Have another phone if you feel that inclined to, because of course, a lot of the young kids are interning and stuff like that for the White House and things of that nature. So I get it in that sense, but at the same time, it's like, no, get another phone. This is not, no. So yeah. And personally, I think they've already got what they needed, kind of, out of.
Yeah, they got it from Facebook. But
but that's what caused the alarm that Biden then had to say.
Yeah, but why did they do that? Why aren't they doing that
with
with Facebook and Instagram? You heard some other. They were talking about
They will,
demonetizing those too.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
platforms,
those
or either
platforms.
really cutting back on it. The
And
only
again, when the government can't kind of make money off of something, they really want to destroy it till they can regulate it. Once they can regulate, then they can bring it back and everything is fine. And as long as you're paying me, then we're good.
maybe suppressing the competition, because
Yeah.
Facebook wanted something
Well,
like TikTok.
I mean, Facebook has
Also.
always been paying, to kind of playing both sides.
Yeah, I mean,
They
how many
try,
times have
yeah,
they had data breaches?
right, and got
That's why I
caught.
got the fuck off of there. Every time I
Right,
turned around, I was getting something. They would
but you
say
didn't actually,
that,
yeah,
that we had another data breach. You need to change your password. I
yeah,
can't remember what I put on there the last time.
yeah. So I don't know. It's really crazy, really, really crazy.
And I like TikTok. It's
Yeah,
quick.
it's okay.
It's quick and easy for my attention span now. I only got a
Yeah,
10-second attention
you
span.
only got a couple of seconds.
Yeah, that's it. Get me quick.
That's it. Well, speaking of attention spans, I do have this quick little segment that I will call Spotlight, where I like to, because people do send me stuff all the time about their new shows or something that they want to do. So a friend of mine did reach out about this new show he wants to start. So I did say, you know what? If you send me something and I like it, then I will promote it for you. So this segment is quickly called Spotlight. So again, if you have a show or something that you want me to showcase, your music or what have you, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. And, if it's decent, because, we do everything decent and somewhat in order over here, then I will promote it. So check this out. And I believe their show will air on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely, hopefully you like it. Okay, if it starts.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of our show, Chilling in the Heights. Come on. All right. Let's see these principles. Yeah. You don't know me, but you will. I'm Derek.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Derek. And this is Chilling in the Heights. But this show is going to be very unique, very different. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk
love, sex, and relationships. We're going to talk about why are toys like they are today.
And we're
Drama. Conflama. Tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery. Buffoonery and
Shenanigans.
goonery. That's us in a nutshell.
It really is.
So stay tuned, brace yourself, and start your engines. Because the best woman wins.
All right. So yeah, it's always good to support others on this journey in YouTube. Of course, it is cool to kind of network and meet other people and other situations and things. So definitely check them out if you happen to see them. The show is called In Heights. I think it'll be a good show. I think it'll be good. I wish them all the luck in the world, and I'll check it out. So you should do.
Link?
He was supposed to send me the link
Drop it
before
later
the show. So hopefully, if he is in here, you can drop the link. But definitely, if I get it later, I'll put it in my community wall, of course. But other than that,
definitely more than enough room.
right, and
We need some new faces.
right. We're just tired, same old faces. But definitely,
Same old bullshit.
right. That part too. That part definitely. So let's get into it.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who is it saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
10-4, good buddy.
Hey. All right. So we got the trucker hat on today. I really was going to put in, I couldn't find my colored contacts, but I was going to put them in just to poke a little fun because that's what I am. I'm Cancer. That's what we do. But anyway, so who said that? There's so much stuff going on in these YouTube streets. So let's talk about it. And I'll just give my little brief opinion on it. I know, Brother Nate, you don't really, get to, but if you have something to say, you are welcome to talk. I
hang on the fringes. I can't.
Yeah,
I don't have the bandwidth for all that foolery and fuckery, except for something that's really good. You know how I am. You seen this shit?
Right. I don't want you to feel like. Okay. Okay. So, where to begin? It's so much stuff. Let's just start with what happened. So today was the day. Today was the People's Court Day. Dun, dun, dun. I wish I still had it, but I think I took it down, so I can't play it. But yeah, even though they flagged me, not flagged me big time, but just like that little take it down or remove it or remove the sound for the People's Court little shindig I did. Yeah, I know they don't. They really don't like it. But it's okay. I like me. Oh, he did put it in. Okay, he did put it in.
Yeah, I see it now.
All right, so Chillin' in the Heights is the show. So definitely go over there, subscribe, and check it out. Check it out and leave your comments. This is the only way people know like kind of what's good, what's not so good, what works. Leave your comments and let the people know what you think, what they can do better and things of that nature. Likewise with myself, I'm not that bad. I'm nice sometimes. So anyway, so the court date was today. The court date that I wish I could have been at, because I would have been at, but I had to work, unlike some folks.
Oh, we're not sneaking in cameras in the courtrooms again.
No, because I was going to, because I have a great little thing, and I know how to use it. So I was
camera rods, right?
Yeah, I was so like, I could do that. Like, I could just get in there, bam, 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 and do the whole thing and really be like,
that would have been so funny.
That would have been hilarious. I would have been but my problem is I'd have been laughing so hard that I wouldn't have been able to like keep it.
You'd cause some commotion and they didn't put your ass out.
Right.
Or arrested you.
Yeah, one or the other. But no, I had to work, unfortunately. So no, I wasn't able to go. But I did send my encouraging words because I was told that it was happening. So I was like, it is what it is. Pray about it. Go ahead and do what you need to do, and you let God do the rest, whatever it's going to be, and just stand in it. We have to learn to just stand in our own power, or stand in the decisions that we make. Whatever they may be. So come to find out that basically everybody has to go to their own corner. He cannot talk about her. She can't talk about him, but he has to take down any derogatory or inflammatory language or anything that involved her from his YouTube channel. 90 days, and then they will reconvene and see where it stands from there. So, and granted, a lot of people, this changes the how we do this on YouTube. No, it doesn't. It just has you being a little more where you can say things, as people do. It's like we would call the dozens back in the day, or your mama disses, but there's a certain level you should go. I mean, as an adult, like, do you need to really go that low? Do you really need to be talking about people who have nothing to do with what you're talking about, deceased people, people's ailments or things of that nature, something that they can't control or what have you? That's nothing to make fun of, because it could happen to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And with people who have experienced something to that degree, actually then talking about others who share the same situation is boggling to me, how you could feel so freely to do that. And and granted, nobody's clean here. Ain't nobody saying that was just all innocent. Nobody's saying that. I mean, granted, she's said what she has done. as far as taking pictures and stuff like that. But that's not illegal. No, it's been said over and over. Google does it all the time. How do you? If you type in Google Earth right now, type in your address, you will see your entire block, your house, the corner of your block, the backyard, the front yard, and you're like, how the hell they get all these pictures? Well, newsflash, thanks to George W. Bush back in the Bush administration when he decided to remove all those privacy acts that we had once before, where they could not photograph you from satellite dish and take pictures of you because it was a privacy issue. But when he got the green light after 9/11 and after he went and attacked Saddam Hussein for no reason, who ain't have shit to do with 9/11, everybody in America was like, hey, whatever you want to do, we're here for it. So he said, okay, let's do it with the Privacy Act. There's no more privacy. We can take pictures of whatever we want, and we'll just call it government, for government research or government know-how of how the land works. And everybody was sucking it up. Why? Because we're Americans and we got attacked and we want to make sure that no one ever attacks America again. But nobody was thinking about the effects of what he was doing when he was able to, and not just him, we're talking about actually the brains behind the whole thing, Dick Cheney. So when they was able to release all this privacy and all the red tape for the privacy, where they had to always get clearance to do certain things, went out the window, and nobody.
If you notice on Google Maps, whenever they have, you could see that there's actually a figure in it. That's why it's always blurred.
Right.
They can take your property and everything else. They can take pictures of your license plates are blurred also.
Right. But anything else is fair game. So, and this is what you signed up for. Granted, you may not have known it, but you know it now. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe trucker. So with that, granted, it's happened. We're here, and it seems like every time somebody pushes the pail or pushes the envelope to take
a little bit more, See how close you can get, without crossing the line. So
right. And then when you start to have law enforcement in the court look into things of this nature, then you're going to have the corporate offices really starting to pay attention, because then they're starting to figure, well, what are we paying you girls for to sit here and do this and then take us to court, and then have the court then say, well, what's going on here? Because then this goes to other courts. This goes to district courts. This goes to the Supreme Court of the state. And then we start to really okay, what is really going on here that we need to kind of get a hold of and stop? I just, know that your actions have consequences, and you can't just be going around here saying everything because you think it's funny and you think it's cute and you think you're reading people. And it's like, it's not.
It's kind of like the classroom thing. We have one kid that screws up and the whole class gets penalized for it, because now you have all these restrictions. Every time you turn around, you have these. You wonder why your damn channels get snatched all the time, because there's a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah, very true.
Because you couldn't stay within your own boundaries,
Yeah. And speaking of staying in their own boundaries, so yesterday there was a cleanup, a Swiffer mopping or whatever you want to call it of Duchess Kelly Love, because of apparently something that happened the night before with him being on the panel and actually kind of talking back to, as they call him, Mother Manatee, Muddy Mother, whatever. So that whole thing. And then, a lot of this just stuff started coming out. People just started history things and things they didn't know about. Like I was today listening to Duchess as I was ending my work day, and he started mentioning other stuff about other people that he has, that James has talked about to him, even mentioning Really BTV. And I was like, oh, wow, look at that. And I just said, and I said it in the chat because I meant it, and it wasn't nothing bad. It was just like all that she's done for you, and the fact that he even talked about you to people, and it's like you put your neck on the line. You've done some stuff that was uncalled for, didn't need it to be done, but you did that for what? To appease somebody who thinks less of you than you should be thinking of yourself? I just thought that was really like, wow. It really was a wow to me. It really was a wow. I really did not, of all the people, and I didn't think that he thought of her like that. And I mean, we could sit here and talk semantics of what he meant, what he said. He wouldn't know those things if it wasn't told to him, and it's just, it is what it is. Like, people only know what they have been told, even in confidence as friends, to know that, oh, we're meeting somewhere. Oh, she wants to come. Oh, I don't like it when she tags along. Why would you? I mean, seriously, like that is so, as much as she's done. I mean, hell, she had lunch with me and ran back to tell you everything, but didn't tell you, yeah, well, this happened, that happened, all the other stuff that didn't happen, but you made sure to describe me, tell me everything. So on Mad Day, on the day he felt like, okay, I overstepped, he wanted to unleash all of this stuff that he was told by the one person that I met with, even though I've only met with 2 people off of YouTube, one of which I know didn't say anything, and the other one would be her. So, I mean, as much as we like to play, oh, well, no, we don't do, like, some of these people have no life. You know what I'm saying? And then the stuff that they do for others is like, what are you doing this for? For somebody to look at you as less than. Seriously. And I'm not shading at all. And this is where people, oh, he's being shady. He's always shading. It's not even, it's talking real shit, like as real as it can be. You did all that to come meet me, to take notes, to go take it back to him so he could have some ammo when he don't think of you nothing but a third wheel, a kind of one of those that always want to be around a bunch of, the gay handbag. You want to be in with the crowd. You want to be in with the girls. And it's like they looking at you like, girl, go get a man. Go find, why you always got to tag along? Why you got to be the tag along? Don't nobody here want you? And that's nothing, it's like they gay. They not dating you. You're not the sausage in the group. So, I mean, I just don't. But to know that's what that person truly thinks of you after all that you've done. And it's like, you did all that shit for what? For what? It ain't stopped me, but it made me look at everything that I'm thankful that it happened. And yeah, granted, people can say, oh, well, yeah, we kicked him out. Trust and believe, God removed me way before you moved me anywhere. And that's the blessing that I have, that I'm able to actually be other places and not be tied to that whole kind of situation, how brief it was. Like, it blew me. It blew me. I was really sitting there like, wow, like that is crazy. You did all that for what? To prove what? And then you sitting up there, thank you for putting me in this, responding, I guess, to Duchess, because there was some talk that I guess VS said that Duchess had called her ugly or something. And so he was, kind of reliving that whole conversation. And he responded, you're welcome, or something like that. She's like, I tried to stay out of it. I don't try to get involved. I try to stay out of it, but you put me in it. And he's like, you're welcome. No, you don't stay out of it when you do the dirty work. Like the minions always get caught. Like, even if we can take this back to a real Donald Trump moment, all of the minions always get caught in their doing the dirty work. while the person who kind of ushered them into doing it is walking away, like, I didn't do nothing, it wasn't me, but you get the backlash. For what? I don't know. If they are, they are. Let them flag away. I don't give a shit. Like, what difference does it make? You flagging me because I'm telling the truth? You did. You did. You don't have no reason for all that. What you come here for? I'm a genuine person. I really am. There's no get up about me. Granted, if I don't like something or if I feel a certain way about it, I'm going to speak about it. Period. It's just my opinion. That's it. You can take it or leave it. It is what it is. But for you to feel like I slighted you or I slighted y'all and you were going to make me pay for what? Make me pay for what? You don't have enough power to do that. As you can see, because ain't nobody go nowhere. I'm still here. Like, get over it. Get over it. But I just on that note, I just felt like, wow. Hopefully it was reflective. Hopefully you just didn't disregard it and think, oh, he's just talking shit because he's mad. And hopefully, you really took in consideration how someone thinks about you. Because it's one thing to be very close friends with somebody and really hear from another person outside of your circle what that person thinks about you. That really hits a certain spot because you don't see them as thinking of you that way. Because of so much that you shared, so much that you've done, things of that nature. So it's just, like, I wish you all the best, but yeah.
It all eventually comes out.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It does, because people talk. You can sit there and say,
but what? They forget who they talk to.
Right, you forget who you're talking to and when you said what you said. So, it's like, you know that I hope you have other friends. Know that I hope you're not hanging all of your eggs in this basket, because this basket don't give a shit about you. And that's point blank and period. And that goes for a lot of people out here. Like, why are we so concerned and we're so, rooting for? I mean, people were really talking so bad about that woman for doing what she did, for taking a stance for how she felt and doing that. But nobody had the same thing when it happened with Sean. Nobody was sitting there calling Rita out. They were celebrating now. Yeah, Rita, girl. Yeah. Come on. You're involving law enforcement either way to actually ruin this man's life. For what? For evidence you didn't have, that you wasted taxpayer time to go ahead and do that. Now, this is what happens when you really do have evidence and you really do show up and things happen, not just placating on, oh, somebody was stalking me and all that kind of bullshit. But when you really have evidence, that's what happens. You have to then remove stuff and things get changed. So, it is what it is. And there are real friends there are friends on Facebook or on anywhere, Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. You just have to know how to be a friend. That's the problem. People don't know how to be a friend. That is the issue. Because when you know how to be a friend, you can be a friend. Period. When you don't know how to be a friend, yeah, you could say that there's no friends on YouTube. Because your objective is not to be a friend. Your objective is to make money. Your objective is to whatever your ambition is. That's what your objective is. But if you're truly genuine and you could be a friend, you can be a friend. You can be a friend. And everybody don't have to know your status of your friendship or how you're friends or when did you become friends. Because that's whose business is it? Of anyone's. That's just like relationship. Like when people start talking about his camel toe because you took the picture, right? And then you feel a way about people talking about it and making fun of it. Because my thing with that is, why do you constantly do stuff and then people make fun of it because it doesn't turn out the way you think it should? And then you want to then attack because you feel like you're being attacked, but you put it out there. In your own words, you put it out there. So it becomes something to commentate on, right? So you're in the whole little Kim pose with your camel toe showing. All right, cool.
Well, we ain't want to see that.
No, nobody wanted to see that, right? Nobody wanted to see that. And as a good friend, your friend should have told you, man, don't post that on social media. Don't nobody want to see that, because then it's going to
or not see it.
Yeah, right. Or not see it, right. So then it's going to create what it has created. Granted, and again, some people thrive on being talked about because it's about the attention. So whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it's all about the intention. It's all about the attention that they get. But at the same time, right, that you put it out there, so then people make parodies and fun of what you've done, like Rebel with that long, I don't know what that was in his nose, and Food Junkie had a rosary in his nose. It's like you do it and you put it out there, then you get mad when people then make fun of it. It's out there. You've done it.
Mm-hmm.
You've done it. So just, kind of.
He needs to learn to laugh at it himself, because he look back at it, it's like, it does kind of silly, but if you can't poke fun at yourself, though.
Right. That's the thing. It's like you do it, but then you get mad when people are laughing. Like, for example, when I was in Kimmy's today and they started talking about, as she would call it, Peter Week or a pet, but whatever. And he talking about something, and I don't know if it was him or not, but it said Jay Wilson, whatever. So said everybody in here got all these other men, they got inches, but they all single. And I said in my comment, that you know of. Mm-hmm. But then you go assuming. Just like we would assume that you claim to be with your person. But we don't know that for sure. We don't know that to be true. We know it possibly. But we don't know that. Exes go on trips together because they ain't got nobody to go on the trip with. Or if the other person is dating someone, they've already, kind of booked this thing while they were still, so they still just gonna go, and maybe a third person will go and stay in the other room. I don't know. We don't care. Like the reality is nobody cares. Nobody cares. So as we sit here and talk about, this one size, that one size, and they all single, that you know of. And leave people alone who decide to put their relationships on here. Leave it alone. Because if people can't talk about yours, then why are you so quickly to talk about other people's? Leave Castro's alone. Leave whoever else decides to put their relationship on here. Leave theirs alone. You went through a hard time when you decided to place yours on YouTube. And instead of being encouraging to folks, you want to kind of make fun and poke fun at it. But you didn't like it when nobody was poking fun at you. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I know you're getting slimmer and you think, because you're getting slimmer that you've created this whole different attitude or persona about yourself. But no, trust and believe that it really is who you are at the core. And that's what matters.
True.
And that's what matters. So you can say this is a show and this is for entertainment and all that other kind of stuff. And it's like, woo, woo, woo. Okay, when does entertainment become real life after a while?
Mm-hmm.
There's only but so much you can entertain. I mean,
did you read in the chat?
No.
Jake Swift, do you think? Damn it, moved up. Wait a minute, let me bring it back. Do you think Jay Wilson will be open to making friends on the ship, or is it just the money game? I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, it's really just the money thing. It really is just the money thing.
Yeah, down to the core, but what happens?
Right. I mean, granted, yes, of course, you're going to be in close proximity with people. Some people you're going to gravitate to, some people you're not going to gravitate to. But the whole reality of it is, if it wasn't a money thing, then why not just connect the people to the travel agency? Why do they have to then do a 25 whatever, then do whatever through the travel agency? Why not just directly to the travel agency? If you want to be a part of Juicycation or whatever it's called, Juicy Booty 2.0, then just Go here. I don't know. But, and granted, again, nobody's knocking anybody's thing. I think that is great that people would want to come and spend time with you. I think that is awesome. I never forget when I saw when I
people
first
that you talk with.
Right, exactly. When I first saw the first Blackout, I thought, oh my gosh, why didn't I know about this sooner? I would so want to go because there was so many people that I watched and I was like, oh, I really wish I was there. I wish I was there. I was like, you know what? If this opportunity ever presented itself again, I'm going to go because that's how I felt. I've watched these people, off and on, just popping in and listening to their stuff that I was just like, I would love to meet these people in person. So I always think that that's a cool idea. I just don't like when people kind of utilize it for other means. People are actually spending their time, their money, and their efforts to come see you. The best thing you can do is make sure that is as free and as carefree. When I say free, because some people have a gasket, but as carefree and as comfortable as possible, so that they will feel comfortable enough to go on any excursion or trip with you. Not that they're being nickeled and dimed, not that they got to pay this to pay that, so you can make sure that you get a whole free stateroom if enough people. Like, come on, that shouldn't be your concern. If it happens to come with it, then so be it. Know that you're blessed enough to where a whole bunch of people booked and you have a free stateroom. But it shouldn't be your goal. It shouldn't be like, we're gonna keep pushing this, like draining blood out of a fucking turnip. Like it's not that serious. People are just coming because they want to spend time with you. I mean, granted, some people are coming to be nosy because this is what
you always have that. You always have that.
What made you attend Sean Bradley's event in Chicago? One, because I always wanted to go to Chicago. To be very frank with you, period, point blank. And in the period, because I was going to go to Five's thing until it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So that was never a thing. So again, it didn't have anything to do with Sean necessarily. It had everything to do with, it's Chicago. I always wanted to go, and I met amazing people. I had a great time. It was so much fun, and I'd do it again. But again, it was about people wanting to spend time with other people and spending their money. When you're spending your money, you don't want to be involved in nobody's BS. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder thinking, oh, is this person filming everything I do? I'm
gonna be pissed that I spent my money for bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on, seriously. So that's why I think that if you're gonna do it, then you need to have it on the up and up. It does not need to be, whatever. If you need to vet the people coming in, then vet them properly, because nobody needs to be spending their money for bullshit. If you see me in Orlando, you see me in Orlando. Why are you asking? Just like any place else, wherever you see me, I will be there. If you happen to see me, you see me. But I just don't think that this should be turned into something where people should feel uncomfortable about wanting to spend their money, because they're spending their money. You ain't paying for shit. Mm-hmm. Different if you paying for it, then you got every right to conduct it how you want to conduct it. But if people are paying their money, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. People work too hard. Some people just making it to spend their last or whatever they have to spend time with you. Have some respect. Treat it with respect. Treat it with respect, because you will be there. Okay, good. If I see you, I see you. But yeah, I just really think that is that's what it should be. But again, I'm off my soapbox. Let's see, anything else? And I don't know if he was calling Rebel a what was that? Madam, I guess the character, the puppet with the long face, Madam.
He called Rebel Madam.
I don't know if that's who he was talking about, because I heard it briefly. But if so,
or did he just say Madam? Did he just
he said he looked old in the face, like Madam. So I don't know if he was talking about.
Okay. Oh yeah, he was talking about the
puppet. If he was talking about Rebel, note that Rebel is going to eat you alive. Okay. because it's gonna be funny.
Oh, I guess that'll be tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning or today, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know. But if so, note that it will be some back and forth. But it's, I don't know. It's just funny to me how they do these things. Let's see. You guys are right. Yeah, I mean it is. It's a lot of money to push out in these things, and it's nothing to play with when you're playing with people's information. That's nothing to play around with. I remember when I signed up for the Fication situation, I gave all my information. So when people were like, "Oh, get your did you get your," a lot of people were hitting me back like, "Oh, she's not doing the trip anymore. She's giving the money back. Did you get it?" I'm like, "No," but I wasn't concerned about it. But then it was like people were saying, "Well, oh, she's saying she's looking for you." I gave you all of my information in the questionnaire bit that we had to fill out for the trip. So why can't you use that to give me my shit back? Like, I just didn't understand that. So then that just made me like, you know what? If there happens to be something else, I'm not going to, because I don't conduct things like that. When I'm spending my money, I need to make sure and be assured that it's not, it's on the up and up, just like anybody would. I don't sleep at the day's end or the whatever else. And no offense to the people who do, but that's just not it's not how I roll, how I was raised when we vacation. So no, it's not happening. Not shaky teeth. Child, I'm not doing this with you. Yeah, I did. Finally, I did. But and that's no, whatever. It was whatever. You couldn't find me, whatever. But I did get. But it wasn't nothing. It was nothing I was losing. I was chalking it up anyway. To be very honest with you, I would have chalked it up anyway. Just cause I believed in what was happening, but. It is what it is. But I really just wanted to go to Chicago. I've been wanting to go to Chicago forever. And I finally was able to check that off the bucket list, to be honest. And that's just that. But I had a great time. Awesome time. As you can tell from the videos. But
y'all just look cold as shit.
Oh my gosh, that boat was cold. I ain't gonna lie about that. That boat was very, very cold. But it was so much fun. And it kind of did wake everybody up. To really want to do other stuff and kind of be alert, because it shocked your senses. It really did. But it was good. It was good. Would you stop, Jake Smith? It took a while. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Stop trying to be. It took a while, but it is what it is. But I wish everybody luck and success, whatever vacation or meet and greet or anything that they plan to do. I think it's important. Your people want to see you.
Yeah, and have a nice, memorable time.
Yeah, we may not be superstars in the idea of famous, but you are, somewhat of a figure to a lot of people. I didn't think, in Chicago, I was going like a spectator, like, oh my gosh. And people were really surprised to see me. So I was like, oh, gee, I didn't, you go trying to just, I'm going to just, be in the moment. And a lot of people were even surprised and happy to see me. And I was touched by that because I was just going to have a good time. So it was really good. And I would do it again. But yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. I don't know if, speaking of shows and stuff real quick, I don't know if Last of Us showed on Sunday. If it did, I missed it.
Yeah, it did. I had started watching it. I didn't finish it. But
okay, so I got to go back and check that out. I have to catch up with Snowfall because that is one of my shows as well.
Yes, that is getting so damn good.
Yeah, is it? Don't tell me. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Johnny Mac? Man, he was a killer last night. I fell asleep listening to you guys, but laughing in my sleep at you guys at the same time. They were hilarious. Sean and Johnny Mac going back and forth, answering the mating call of mother. So yes, Mother Marcus. Yeah, Chicago was a good time. Who reached out to you for the show? Why do you ask so many questions? Just know that I know that I know. I got, there's people that reach out to me, believe it or not. Granted, people think I am, a small content creator, and but a lot of people do reach out to me and want to collaborate and do other things with me. It's just usually a timing schedule. So if I have the time and it's something that I'm interested in doing, sure. So it kind of worked out that way. All right. So don't ask any more questions, Jake Smith. Thank you.
It's kind of hard now, now the committee is over with.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really over with, but we're all back out in the world again. So
yeah. Very true. But yeah, so definitely if Sean still has that live up from them last night, definitely check that out. It was very tasteful in their comeback. It wasn't, it was just addressing, like everybody doesn't address people the same way. And I think a lot of subscribers and people who just watch have to realize that everybody does not respond the same way, and the way other people respond is just as entertaining, and sometimes it's even more because it's on a different level. It's not so muddled in negativity, but it's actually based in a lot of fact and a lot of it is what it is. Kind of situation. And not all the times people want to hear garbage. Just like listening to certain kinds of music, you want to hear some things sometimes that you can kind of relate to, and it can still be funny and tasteful and not be so dark and dank and oh my god, what did I watch, and you feeling like you need to go pray for your soul salvation.
Your soul, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not because it shouldn't be that serious. You're an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to say what you want to say or laugh at yourself or do whatever and keep it moving. It should not be this built up like anger or hatred for what? For human beings that you're probably not even gonna see.
Yeah.
And if you do see, you ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
like T says, people just aren't worth, it's not worth responding to.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. And granted, I know some people think they win when they don't get a response, but you really don't.
No, you have to be selective about where you spend your energy on here, because you'll be putting out fires every week.
everywhere. And it's not, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. But yeah, so I think that's all I got. If anybody had anything they wanted to add, I did drop the link. I'll do it again, and I'll leave it up here for about 2 minutes or so. If nobody pops on, then we will just go on about our merry way. As always, it's always been a pleasure hanging out with you all. Thank you for stopping by. Any newcomers to the channel, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be a pleasure to have you. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself, and we've all learned something new today. And if not, well, thank you for stopping by anyway. Also, I do want to give a shout out to Tita Talks. She did leave a Cash App. Thank you so much for the Cash App, Miss Tita Talks. It's always a pleasure.
You're going to sing for Tita?
No, I'm not saying for Tita. That is
you're not gonna sing a super chat song. Ain't no nonsense. How you doing?
That's Rebel and Duchess thing. I don't know.
You don't sing. Oh,
no, I haven't sang in a while.
No, but you got the big trucker hat on.
Yeah.
What does that say? Lucky Rooster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Could have said big cock. Anyhow,
but, I mean, yeah, it's a double. It's a double entendre. Everybody should be. But yeah, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. And if
he was to sponsor you on Jaycation.
You said who?
No, Jake said he will sponsor you for Jaycation.
No, thank you. No, thank you. And not that I have an issue, because a lot of people do hit me up like, oh, did you have an issue with Jay Wilson? I don't have an issue with Jay Wilson. I just have an issue with the behavior of Jay Wilson, because it's almost like for me, it's like be yourself. But all this kind of you this way 1 minute, then you're that way the next, then you're this way the next. It's too much. It's too much. Too much. It makes you seem not authentic, not a genuine person. Just be yourself, just be you, and note that people are gonna like you, and not everybody will like you, and that's okay. But to kind of like you kissing this person, but you love this person, yet this person, and that's a good thing, because you just brought something to my remembrance. Oh goodness, like today, this morning, I was in DNS chat, which I normally am not in the chat, but like listening as I'm working, because she usually starts early, so I'll just be clicking in. And she's funny. Granted, I don't agree with everything, but she is funny. I don't know if it's the Southern drawl and what she's actually talking about, but it be hilarious to me. And she was literally talking about Jay Wilson. You saw the thumbnail was Jay Wilson when he was doing his, Little Kim, I'm nasty pose. So you already knew what it was, and people dropped down, whether they didn't, necessarily speak on what she was talking about. They still dropped down, and I said to myself, "Oh, that's funny that this person would drop down in this chat talking about you after this person just confessed his love for you. I love mother, and you drop down in the chat, clearly see her talking about Jay Wilson, and you just saying hi to people like it's nothing. But somebody would do that to you, and you would see that as being disrespectful." I was just like, that's interesting. That is really interesting. But, it's funny how we talk about the love and admiration that we have for people, and they don't give a shit about you. But you love and care so much about these people, and they can sit in a chat, literally you being talked about, and it's funny to them. Because if you don't think they laugh, that's bullshit, because everybody was laughing. I was laughing listening to it. So I'm damn sure know that as he was waving and saying hi to people who were saying hi to him, he was laughing at you. I don't know. I really don't know. I think my parents, but I also think God more so, that I was never a pick-me person. That a pick-me person was not in my spirit. I never wanted, pick me, I'll be friends with me. If you didn't like me, you just didn't like me. Moving right along. And I was okay with that. I've never been a pick-me person. And to see a lot of adults here being pick-me people, talk about me, mention me, it's sad. It really is sad to see these older people, some younger, but we're all someone around about the same age demographic, maybe minus or plus a couple years. But a lot of pick-me people is really, really sad. You can't be an individual and stand on your own and have your own thought, or just, think for yourself or have your own. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But what do I know, right? Mm-hmm. But it's crazy. It is crazy.
No,
but
it's YouTube. That's what that is.
Yeah, but it's like it's bigger than YouTube, because it's almost like these people like.
Well, they're probably like that in real life. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, what's
the difference in the virtual?
Yeah. But that's my thing. It's like you're actually like this in real life. Everything is a pick me. Everything is a like. Why do you feel the need to insert yourself? Like, even with, and I don't have no issue with Food Junkie at all, but I was listening to Olivia live when he threw Deanna in there, talking about, like, they said Deanna stinks. Like, why would you put her in that? Why would you even throw her name into that when the conversation had nothing to do with that? You could have just said simply, like they say other people smell, or like, to actually put her name to that, for even people that may not know the situation to go, what? I listen to her, I watch her, she stinks. Who said that? To do that is just, it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't sit well with these people that you consider to be associates. I'm not even going to say, friends in the level that I think of friends, but even associates with. Just not cool. Just not cool. Just be mindful. Like be mindful of things you say. It projects a certain way, even if you don't see it. It does. Yeah, but that's it. I think that's it. That's all I got to say. Yeah, and I'm done.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Leave me alone.
Because you'll think of something.
Yeah, I would. It will pop in my head, but no, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's always been a pleasure and fun. Any last words you have to say, sir, before we go?
No, nothing. Not a thing.
All right.
Everybody take care of yourselves. Stay warm.
Yes, please stay warm.
Dry.
Yeah.
Don't get blown away.
Yeah. Please don't. Definitely stay warm because this weather is kicking up, even though we just turned our clocks forward.
I thought they were going to stop doing that.
Yeah,
that throws you off too with your sleep.
Yeah, it really does. Especially that Monday, I think it'd be all so bad.
Oh, you talking about hurt?
So
that nigga was hurt big time. He was hurt.
I told myself going to sleep early just so I can make up for that, but it still didn't work.
But it still felt off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that said, everybody have a safe rest of the week. If anything comes of ruin, we will be informing you guys, but we'll keep a close eye to the streets as we always do, especially with these political nightmares happening.
These politicians on both sides.
Yes. So
running the big con.
Big.
Especially with this banking situation.
Yeah.
Really had to pay attention to that.
Right. To your money, period. Right. Yeah. Be mindful because they're playing with your money and don't nobody play with your money.
This is how they're going to get back all their PPP loans.
Right.
Snatch all that shit back. We don't want y'all have any of it.
Right. Exactly. Don't even think about it. As they already used theirs and, got theirs forgiven.
Got theirs forgiven.
Yeah. They'll make you pay yours, but they got theirs forgiven. See how they do? It's just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. But on that note, stay sharp because stay vigilant because it's a changing world out here. Okay. All right. And on that note, I'm gonna toot my trucker hat on out of here.
Hey, Big 10-4. Don't be hanging around them truck stops now.
No, I don't hang around truck stops. Thank you. All right. That's really good night. I'm not messing with you.